Are we live? We're live. We're live. What's going on, everybody? It's Giants game day, second to last one of the year. This is the last time you'll see Justin Pennick on a Giants pregame live chat for the season, because you're going to be at the game next week. So it'll be me and Danny King next week. Mm-hmm. Justin, how you doing? How you feeling before this second to last game, the draft bowl? And I guess we could talk about our preferences for draft position. Not if you're rooting for them to win, but like what preference to draft wise. How are you?
Yeah, hi, Bobby Skinner. I'm excited that there's a game today just because I like when the Giants play. But rather than that, I haven't thought about this game about, how do the Giants approach it? How do the Bears approach it? Who's playing? That's the furthest thing from what I thought of. All weekend I've been full into getting prepped for the Senior Bowl, which we will be going to. And I found my preference for GM. Now, granted, I only really looked into one person.
Yeah, you're a little trigger happy there. I was like, man, you gotta do some research more than one guy. But I do agree, he's a good candidate.
It's partially it's a hunch. It's a hunch too that guy may happen. So that's
Joe
why
Mama?
I'm in it. Joe Mom. I did find it to be pretty funny that I had a tweet yesterday that hinted at, I heard, no, really, it was all the people that were in this live stream last week got a tip. It was that a Joe from the AFC East was being considered for the Giants GM job. And then Mike Garafolo comes out yesterday and mentions Joe Shane. And so for all of those of you that were in here, you got that tip last week. Now it's not a hot take, but
well, here's your issue: is you were being a little b-boy and you didn't just tweet it out. You waited till Rappaport and Garofalo and then NYG Daily, and it's
I'm scared. Okay, I don't like.
This is old news at this point.
Our thing is not breaking news, so
you had to get a second source. You didn't work the sources.
I know. For those of you that were in the live stream, you heard it when I first heard it that there was Joe Shane. Joe Shane is a candidate for the GM job, and the Giants have talked to him. He hasn't had an interview, but they've talked to him. And I was a little bitch boy, and I didn't tweet it out.
It's all right. But it's better to not, and then expect second. We don't do sources, but if we have two confirmations on a source on something, we'll break it. So that's the Talking Giants rule of etiquette.
That's the philosophy.
Journalism, and we were asking players questions today. So here's where I am with the Giants. And I've noticed I actually have not been stressing about the Giants games the last month.
No.
Because Daniel Jones isn't playing. And Daniel Jones was the young QB where it's like, what is he? Every snap, literally every single snap matters in the evaluation of Daniel Jones. Where these last 4 weeks, I've kind of embraced the suck. And it's very much like from 1 to 4, I'm going to enjoy watching the Giants. And then every other hour of the week is when I'm going to pick them apart and talk about the way they're doing things.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
That's where I'm at, and let's pull up the draft implications.
Jake Barrow had a great tweet.
Yeah, I retweeted it. So it's basically, now he did leave out one part that I think is important. If you want the single highest pick, you want the Bears to beat the Giants and the Texans and Jets to win. Could end up with 3, 4, and 8. If one of those teams wins, if both those teams win, they can end up with a third pick. Now, I did see somebody say something that the Giants could slip in front of the Jets if they both lose both games, the Giants and the Jets, by strength of schedule, depending on what happens. But I'm not going to go into all that. And then, so if the Bears lose today, the lowest their pick can go is 8. So if we beat the Bears, the lowest pick they can go is 8. But then we are probably at 5 or 6, depending on what happens. So it's basically do you want to have the first pick to be as high as possible, or do you want them both to be 5 and 6, and like Jake says, 3 and 8? The issue though is that if the Bears beat the Vikings and us, they can get into the teens.
Yeah, that's my worry. I don't want those picks to be back to back, but I want them to be close. So I think
I would like the second pick to be in the top 10 for sure, because whether it's a trade down or just getting a better player, there is a a
The
drop off.
stupid Seahawks. We literally went from there being a 40% chance that the Bears were going to have a top 5 pick.
Yeah, the Seahawks screwed this.
They really did. I mean, I was like, "Yep, we're going to have 5 and 6. 5 and 6 is going to be it." And Seahawks just screwed it up.
So
good for the Bears not starting Nick Foles. What is wrong with them?
Yeah,
literally,
I don't get it.
Their best win of the season. And
Robert Smith was kind of mad at it, and you know how you were like, man, you guys interviewed for 30 minutes.
Yeah,
we talked for 20 minutes before that. Like me and him just can't stop talking when we get on the line with each other. But I was like, man, I'm so jealous that you get to have a backup, QB battle of Andy Dalton versus Nick Foles compared to Mike Glenn and Jake Fromm. Like they have what a weird QB room that's got to be for the Bears. You got Nick Foles, a Super Bowl MVP, Andy Dalton, who started a lot of games, and then your young guy, and it seems like they can't make a decision on any of these crackerjacks. Fitzmagic to the Giants. Nah, I don't.
Who was that in the profile picture?
Pablo Escobar. That's his mugshot. That's his first mugshot.
Did people fall? This is a good. All right, I'm penciling a Simple Man Radio conversation. Not talking about it now.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it. So
no,
I guess we can answer some questions because I know there's someone that's doing like a Herbert Ritter DJ like comparison in the chat. Just know we're not reading that. I mean, if you want to keep doing it to talk to the other chat, go for it. But we're not. We haven't watched any of those QBs. What? Okay, so here's a question because this needs to be question driven. What, in all honesty, are you really going to be looking at the last 2 weeks? Sweet haircut, by the way. You know what I am really excited for today?
Great haircut.
Thank you. Although it's a haircut where you have to get it cut kind of often because it grows in very like I noticed that in my last it grew in horribly. Where usually my hair grows in beautifully, but this last time it grew in horrible. What I am looking at today, and I know it's been basically what I've looked at all season, is Robert Quinn is going for the Bears sack record. He has 17 sacks this season, or 18 sacks this season. Like he's been a baller. And he's lining up against Andrew Thomas. Every rep today most likely will be against Andrew Thomas. That is what I'm excited about, And even if Andrew Thomas has a bad day, it doesn't mean, you don't like. No, he's earned the right to not be mad at him for a bad game type of thing, especially against someone like Robert Quinn. But if he dominates Robert Quinn today, oh my God, I'm going to be swinging it around for everybody to see.
Zoinks. Does Julian Love have an interception every time that he's played Chicago?
I'm also very much rooting for that. That's a talking point. And I also, I should pull up the Google image search. I'm going to have a good boat picture tweet today, regardless of what happens. So that's what I'm looking forward to that tweet.
It's a win-win. I feel like it's a win-win.
Yeah. So.
Alex, rewind a couple minutes. We just talked about for draft position, doesn't matter if we win or lose. So rewind a couple minutes and then work your way back to us.
Let's see. Please don't ask us about potential hirings for OC right now. We haven't done it.
No.
We are big fans. We are big fans of not just talking out of our ass, and we haven't done full research. Now, Pep Hamilton, I looked into a little bit last year. I liked him. Ken Dorsey, I looked into a little bit last year. I liked him. And those are the only two people and I didn't even go deep into them because I realized 2 days into the offseason we weren't getting a new OC. So that sucks.
I'm rooting for Aziz to get 10 sacks.
They have a bad offensive line, the Bears do.
I mean, I've heard mixed things. Is it Fields? I mean,
no, they're a bad offensive line.
Schmitz talked about it where it was Fields holding onto the ball, but then he's taken less sacks as time goes on. So is it the line or is it the quarterback play?
It was both. It's a bad offensive line. It wasn't even a good offensive line to start the year, and they're banged up. So yeah, it's a bad O line. So I'm excited for Aziz. No Dexter Lawrence today, by the way. The defensive tackle room is very thin.
Joy.
So we might get some good real Raymond Johnson reps so that'll be nice.
Yeah. Austin Johnson contract extension. I am on that train.
And he hasn't been as good as he was the first half of the season.
No.
Like, I bet you if
he's
you do
not.
his first 8 games, second 8 games, just like raw stat splits, probably pretty rough. Also, it would be nice to get Galladay a touchdown, just so he doesn't have to go the whole offseason not having a touchdown. And it sounds stupid, but like I guess this is like the looking at the car wreck type thing. I'm really interested to see how the wide receivers work. We have one active wide receiver from the active roster in Kenny Galladay. One. David Sills will be wide receiver 2. Pharaoh Cooper will be the slot, which he's been basically the second half of the season, essentially. And then Alex Bachman is your wide receiver 4. Alex Bachman, who has taken practice reps at defense earlier this week, is our wide receiver 4.
Well, good thing we have is Chris Myrack still here?
Yes.
All right, so 13 personnel in jumbo. Let's just do that all day. It's apparently also very windy. So let's just, like, I'm serious. I want to just run the ball. I don't want to throw the ball.
It's been so annoying how, like, we talk about Freddie Kitchens and run pass ratio. I refuse to judge Freddie Kitchens' run pass ratio on the past month.
No.
Because the quarterback play has been so bad.
No. But even
that's
then,
what, I was on a stream the other night, and I just was getting so annoyed at some of the opinions on it. And it's like, well, Freddie Kitchens isn't that aggressive. I was like, have you seen the route concepts? Yes, when they throw the ball, it's aggressive. But run pass ratio right now, no, it's not going to be aggressive. Jake Fromm completed 6 passes for 25 yards, and 2 of the completions were screenplays. Like 2 of his 6 completions were screenplays. Like, yeah, of course they're not going to just go balls to the wall throwing the ball. And a 3rd and 10 when you're in field goal range, they're going to try and run the ball and gain a few more yards for the field goal. It's like, yeah, it's being like it's okay to be conservative at times. Like Joe Judge is like conservative and aggressive nature on the Daniel Jones games, which he's been conservative in those. But like that 3rd and 10 run last week when we were in field goal range in the first half, I was saying before the snap, run the ball. Just run the ball and get as many yards as you can get. Now it's funny that they lost 2 yards because they suck. But it's like I was like saying, like, run the ball. I see you.
Austin Johnson hasn't had a tackle for loss since week 9, and he's played in every game.
Jeez, has he had?
Can I say something? Can I say something that I've been saying privately to you, but I'm going to say it right now to everybody?
I don't even know what this is. It's going to be a big Evan Ingram day.
I'm frustrated that you don't need to be an intelligent person to be talking about the Giants right now and get traction and get attention.
Yeah, because they're so bad. So it's basically like this, like, which is like, for us, it sucks because like when the Giants are good, that's when, or at least things are positive. Like that's when we separate ourselves because our stuff is based in like, let's attack the moment and let's do the best work,
And let's look at the things that nobody else wants to look at, but people want to hear, and nobody wants to hear about that right now.
Like the last 2 weeks, we've had to do it, but we've become what we hated, where it's just everything's a big picture conversation.
Yeah, I hate that.
In the last 2 weeks, I'm like, I'm not staying up till 6 a.m. on Monday to watch film. I'll just get the video will come out 5 hours, 6 hours later the next day.
Yeah.
Will you be researching O-line coaches once Rob Sale leaves? Yeah, they kept the O-line candidates very quiet last year. Like we didn't get any concrete information on any of the candidates last year. But apparently
it took a long time, didn't it?
Yeah, supposedly like he talked to like 10 plus people or something. We will be, hopefully we can get some news out of it so we can have like some concrete guys to look at. Like I'm not going to go and just look at random guys. It'll be very much we see who it is and we'll inform you as much as we can about him, which I am looking forward to. New GM, new O-line coach, new OC, sharing clips and finding stuff from interview and that type of stuff. Spike that like. We always forget to do that. How about trading? Nope, I'm not trading up to number 3 overall, Gabriel. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Not to say that we're just not in a situation. We need to be adding picks more than trying to get one player.
I agree.
So no, I would not trade up. Plus, I kind of like like the 1 through 10 range of this draft. Like if we miss, if Evan Neal gets picked right before us, and say the edges are gone too, I'm not like It's like okay, Aquanu from NC State. Let's grab him. So and like all right, let's see what maybe we could trade out of that second pick or something.
Yep.
See what we got. That's an dude. So I didn't tweet about it because one, I've been very critical of his play, and it's like, what am I going to say? It's just for likes. But oh man, I freaking felt so bad for Billy Price this week. If you don't know, anyways, it was just a very sad situation. So he won't be playing today. Matt Skura will be at center. I will assume Wes Martin will be at left guard. I don't think Ben Bredesen's going to play.
Ben Bredesen's like the one guy that I really want to play.
I'm over Ben Bredesen, dude. Like he is my second backup guard going into next season.
What did we give
off
up
season
for
goes into plan? It was a pick swap. So it was essentially a difference of 50 picks on the start day 3 for a fourth to a fifth.
Yeah.
So like I have, if we're going into next year, it's like he's after Nick Gates. Yeah, he's clearly after Nick Gates, and Shane Lemieux's been out all year, but I've seen Shane Lemieux play NFL games. He's very clearly third on my list after those guys, and we expect to add guys. So, we give up 7th too, in the Billy Price trade. So we only have 9. I had to delete because people were quoting my tweet from like August saying we have 11 picks. I just went ahead and deleted it yesterday because we only have 9 picks right now because we traded away the Billy Price pick and Ryan Santoso only played 1 game for the Panthers. So
how are you supposed to know that we were only going to have 9 in August?
I know it's not my fault. I'm just saying people were going back and like pulling it up.
Saying that the Giants have all these picks. Okay.
Yeah. So who would win in a cage match? Pat Hanlon, Federosa, Anonymous Scout, or Chris Pettit's burner? Can I say something? The Chris Pettis burner is very clearly somebody trolling. Like it's the most.
I don't think it's him.
I basically know it's not. It's very clearly trolling the Chris Pettis burner. The Anonymous Scout is a weirdo who's online all day, so he can't fight.
Do you know? You're making it sound like you know who it is. Do you know who it is?
No, but I've seen people do that in the past, and it's just so on the nose. Like it's very clearly a troll. Like, and the fact that people believe it, it's like when people are like, "How did people fall for Bobby Saquon videos?" Like that's how. Anonymous Scout is the weirdo. I know that he can't fight.
I think it's Jerry Reese.
So it's Pat Hanlon versus Verderosa. And I hate to say it because I'm Team Steve, but I think Pat Hanlon would probably handle Steve.
Yeah, Pat Hanlon got a little bit of a bald head.
Yeah. And it's just Pat Hanlon, supposedly he used to like tweet like at people all the time back in like the early, like after the Giants 2012 when the Giants didn't make the playoffs out of the Super Bowl. And was just like, just like going after fans like crazy. It's like, this is seriously our head of PR. It's like your job is to know how to handle the public, and you're horrible at it. It's like you're the worst person in the entire organization at handling the public, Pat Hanlon.
It's like you would tweet out,
like at least Dion Dargan just blocked me and like got over it. Like Dion Dargan should be the head of PR, not Pat Hanlon.
Did Art just say that Ben Bredesen should play?
Oh, well, maybe we just... If Ben Bredesen plays, he'll get a segment on the O-line report because he hasn't started a full game in forever. Or ever, really.
Billy Price did not make the trip to the Chicago, so he's out for today's game. Thomas Bredesen guard. This is his best guess. Okay,
then we're not going with it. We'll wait till...
Yeah. No, we need definitive reports. Beat reporters sometimes are not good at guessing.
Yeah, it's like, well, you only need to have a certain amount of inactive, so they're not going to make someone inactive that isn't inactive. Doesn't need.
Also, Wes Martin has been the guy that has gone in whenever there's been a need to switch. So,
well, Bredesen's been inactive, but yeah. So don't go off of what Art's saying. Art is literally saying in his tweet, it's a guess. Like his guess is literally as good as ours, and I've seen no other beat reporter say it. Are Gates and Lemieux that starters at guard in 2022? I know everyone wants Tyler Linderbaum, and I surely wouldn't be mad at having Tyler Linderbaum, but I would rather get like a guy like Kenyon Green. And I'm fine with leaving Nick Gates at center. And then I would like to have somewhat of a battle with Shane Lemieux and some type of vet. Maybe like a 3rd round pick or something. I don't know. It's so far ahead. Like, I don't know who's going to be on this team. So, but yes, if those guys are battling for starting jobs or like, have the heads up, have the advantage for starter jobs, I'm certainly not mad. DeAndre Baker inactive for the Chiefs. That's a shame. You sound foreign with the Brock Lesnar wants his hair back joke. Bam. Let's see. I saw some of the edge players were at the ball dropping.
Fun.
Um,
Some of the edge one edge player goes to the Candlewick Diner, Quincy Roche.
Duber, we just can't assume Gates and Lemieux are good to go. I feel like I like that a vet center ad is a need, especially if you aren't willing for Price to be the backup. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, but at the same time, we can do a lot to change this offensive line. We're not going to add 4 very like clear-cut starters. No. Like, you can add 2 clear-cut starters this offseason, but you're not going to add 4, and tackle is a huge, like, tackle has to, like, flat out has to be one of those, so now we have 3 essentially open guard spots. Nick Gates has proven to be a good player. We don't know what he's going to be coming back, but also we know that his injury isn't as, because he broke his leg doesn't mean his injury is the same as an Alex Smith type thing. We saw guys like Soybert come back out. So Nick Gates, I have a little more confidence in. Shane Lemieux, injury less severe, but we don't really know what Shane Lemieux is. So it's not like we have our offensive line fixed next year with Nick Gates and Shane Lemieux, but we're not gonna. Again, we're not gonna totally. We don't have the cap space to do that. If we can get a free agent, we could do that. So
right tackle's the priority.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
Just point blank. Left tackle and right tackle. Maybe you can say center is more valuable or just as valuable as right tackle. But at least by the positional value pyramid that I go off of in my brain, it's left tackle, right tackle, get the bookends, and then let the rest of the line will hopefully fall into place.
Did you see Tyler Linderbaum run down the field fast yesterday? We have to draft him.
But that's great. That's great, and it's the same thing with Becton running a fast 40. But when is that? Do the Giants ever run a screen? Ever run a screen that goes 20 yards, 30 yards down the field? So we're gonna have linemen that are that's not gonna happen. That's not, to me, that great. It's a great highlight play, but that is nowhere near the reason. I don't get more excited.
Show me how you block a nose
Linderbaum.
Tackle. Show me a block. And again, this is my watch the film breakdown. I praise Tyler Linderbaum a lot on the Talking Football channel, but like, don't just watch bowl games and see a clip of a really cool clip. Like Jamari Salyer, the Georgia left tackle. I'm excited to watch him. He's going to be down at the Senior Bowl. He's someone I'm going to really pay attention to down there. But I'm also not like, dude, do you see what he did to Aiden Hutchinson? Top 15 pick. But I haven't watched him, so maybe I will. And I'll be like, everyone else is wrong. This guy's top tier. We'll see.
Evan Neal dominated Aiden Hutchinson. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I'm saying this sarcastically.
God, that was beautiful. Let's see. I hope the Jets take Linderbaum in front of the second pick. That means we get Evan Neal. All right, so hit us with some questions. Dewberry, also watch 3 plays of any game and you'll know he's athletic. Yeah, like that's his best trait, I think.
Yeah.
Is his athleticism.
But it's strength. I mean, if you want to be an athlete, then go to guard. I mean, that's if you then pull.
He's not big enough for guard.
If you want to be a center, then you got to be strong and you got to have that play strength.
Yeah, I was holding off on an Evan Neal breakdown to see if we get an Aiden Hutchinson matchup. Like, I literally don't. I don't care about call. I didn't watch any. I watched like a few minutes of one of the games yesterday. Like Kentucky, Iowa. I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this game. I'm going to pay attention to Linderbaum. And I'm going to pay attention to Kennard. And 5 minutes in, I was like, I don't care about this.
I tried to watch Iowa, Kentucky, but every freaking time I turned on the TV, Kentucky was on offense. Like every time.
Yeah. Does Sills or Bachman score before Kenny Golladay? Ooh, that's actually or
No.
Pharoah Cooper. Better chance of scoring a touchdown today. Kenny Galladay or David Sills, Pharoah Cooper, Alex Bachman. And
I think
I'll throw Kyle Rudolph in there too.
Kyle Rudolph has Chris Myrack, Kyle Rudolph all have better chances to score than any Giants wide receivers.
That's not a hot take. That's like very true. I'm starting to remember why we don't do a ton of streams during the offseason because I can't keep answering the same question over and over again.
This is draft. They're not even asking about like GM, and I gave my whole like Joe Shane. I mean, I won't give you everything, but I'll give you some thoughts on Joe Shane.
Best chance to score a receiving touchdown today. I'm going with Evan Ingram.
Sure.
Well, give me yours. You got to maybe Saquon, Devontae Booker, Kyle Rudolph.
I drafted him in fantasy.
I changed the format of the fantasy tweet. I don't know if it did any better, but it just looked kind of with all the tags. I wanted to show the point. I wanted to show the point differential.
Tags are overwhelming, and at this point, you know what? I think that's actually just a good idea in general. Like people know what Danny King's tag is. People know what your user is. People know what my user is. So,
I was literally in the middle of breaking down our totals for downloads this because how it's like I showed you the 2021 total downloads. Yeah. But now I'm going through and be like each just episodes from 2021, not episodes.
Oh, like the type of episodes.
Yeah, so like just 2021 episodes.
Did you? December was our most downloaded month. Is that what you told me?
Yes.
I don't believe you.
Look at it, because October was our previous one, and December, where I was dead for like 2 weeks of it, and the season completely over.
Died too.
And we had our most downloaded. I mean, it's just we're getting bigger. Thank God. All right, does Dabble come over with Shane? Do you think so? I feel like for Dabble to be released,
it depends on the rift between McDermott and Dabble. If that was a true thing in the middle of the season, now Josh Allen has looked like a stud right now. He's killing the NFL. But if that riff is true and McDermott feels like I want to get something new in here or just promote somebody from within, then yes, because previously it was the Bills denied Joe Judge the opportunity to interview Dabble for a lateral position to go from offense coordinator. But now, would they grant that?
I don't know. That's why I'm rooting for the Bills to just melt down the last 2 weeks and lose in the wild card.
They're not melting down. They're hot. They're hot right now.
Can dogs be schizophrenic? Asked Cheyenne.
Can dogs be schizophrenic?
What do we know?
Is that what? Did people hear my dog? My dog was just barking. Did people hear that?
I don't think so. I didn't hear
it. Good topic.
What do you guys think about Will McClay for GM? That might end up being my guy, Will McClay. I love what the Cowboys do player personnel wise. I flat out love it. I love their roster, but they don't get. But it's I think they've built their offensive line. They've built decent depth on their offensive line. The wide receiver room. The defense has pass rushers. Even when the defense wasn't good, they have pass rushers, so they haven't prioritized secondary a ton. But they've gotten better at that. Drafting a guy like Diggs. I think they were for 10 years. They were at least a mediocre to bad coach team. I mean, they flat out just cut out Jason Garrett, who I think was a bad coach. Some of their defensive coordinators were horrible. They brought in Monty Kiffin 10 years too late, running this is my Tampa 2. It's you don't have. This isn't the Tampa Bay defense. You don't have the dogs to run the Tampa 2 like that. And then who was it last year before they brought in
Mike
Dan
Nolan?
Quinn? So some just horrible defensive coordinators as well. So Will McClay, I love what they've done. So I can see Will McClay becoming my guy.
They've had some draft picks which they really fumbled. They passed on T.J. Watt, taking Ezekiel Elliott. Now, obviously, I think. What
do you mean passing on T.J. Watt? Who did they pass on?
I can look it up. This has been something that my Dallas friend has talked about for years.
The Zeke one you could point out, but draft I'm not going to get late first round. You passed on some type of guy thing. Dean will be one of the 2 first rounds picks you see him as top 10. I don't know. Thank you for the $5 though, but I can't pretend to know the answer to that. What's the most you pay Evan Ingram? Or Evan Ingram, Jabril Peppers? Ingram, I don't want back on anything unless it's something that he wouldn't agree to. So I'm moving on from Ingram. Jabril.
Dallas took Taco Charlton 2 picks before TJ Watt. And he's not on the team anymore.
That's a bad pick.
Yes.
Jabril. Jabril, I don't know. Not a lot because it's coming off the injury. And we're essentially rebuilding.
Jabril also just doesn't fit what Graham wants to do anymore.
But Graham changes what he wants to do a lot too. So
This is true.
See. Let's see. I feel like we should just end this at this point. Like, what are we?
I got some waffles and sausage waiting. Not gonna lie, kind of want that.
Blue waffles?
Well, excuse me?
Blue waffles?
No.
Have you seen blue waffles?
No.
Blue waffle?
No.
You haven't?
No.
Google blue waffle.
I think I'm not gonna like what I'm gonna see. Yes.
Yeah, he was in my mid-season mock draft video. I like him. I need to watch more of him though because I didn't get all 22 of him.
Production went down. That's that's the thing.
Some people in the chat know what blue waffle is.
Not gonna do it.
It's basically if you're in my age range, you knew what blue waffle was, but it's essentially it's like a frozen waffle company out of Minnesota. So it was big when I was in Minnesota.
Oh,
look, and Zach Martinez, blue waffle is a frozen waffle company from Minnesota.
Sure, that's exactly what it is. Blueberry.
I think it's like made from blueberries, but it's just the entire thing is blue, but it makes your mouth super blue too.
Oh. I feel like it's something straight out of Willy Wonka.
Let's see. All right, so enjoy the game. David Sills is your wide receiver too. Watch Andrew Thomas versus
Robert Quinn.
I was trying to think of someone else. Brady Quinn. By the way, did you listen to that the radio clip on the podcast of Brady Quinn and LeVar Arrington?
I did. That was Brady Quinn. No, I did not.
Yeah,
I listened to the radio clip of the people in Atlanta.
Yeah, they weren't. That was the first. It was essentially everywhere. Like every radio sports station in America played that clip.
I would have loved if the K Show did it because I would have loved to just hear your voice or your voice on the Michael K Show. That would have been great on ENN. Maybe they did and we missed it.
No, if it was on Michael K, people would have told us.
Yeah, everybody from John Boy Media List, they would have said that.
Yeah, they would have. They would have found out. All right, we'll see you guys after the game you want to watch us record our podcast live. You can go to patreon.com/talkinggiants. There's a $2 a month tier that allows you entry to that. Get a free sticker. You get entered into 2 t-shirt raffles a month. If you want to enter the $10 tier, you get 5 free stickers. You get an extra raffle. And if you want to do the $100 tier, I feel like I put some type of other benefit on there. But it's essentially like you're rich and you like us a lot. So if you want to join that tier, join it. No one has joined that tier yet, But it's like I kind of put it there, not expecting anyone to join it. But one day there's going to be some kind of a rich person who's like, you know what? I'm loaded. Let me just give these cats $100 a month. Like, what's $100 a month to me? And now that guy is me with my over $500,000 salary.
You should join that tier.
How do you think I got to this salary, bro? I am a shrewd businessman. I don't waste money like that. All right, we'll see you guys after the game if you're part of that. If not, you'll get the podcast on YouTube at 8:00. Podcast apps will be out for your morning commute, even if you're a 4 a.m. morning commute type guy. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you after the game. Until then, let's go Big Blue.